Okay, today I'm going to build off my last video where we installed Windows 3.1 on dosbox, and I'm going to install Microsoft Bob. And many people probably have many feelings about Microsoft Bob. I myself have never used Microsoft Bob. I've heard many wonderful things about it, but I've never played with it before. And I've always thought should give things a try before we judge them. Yeah, so let's get into this. I'm gonna be using my Windows 3.1 emulator here, and I've already acquired Bob. Wrong folder. I've already acquired Bob through, some means, the internet, and yeah. So basically, we're gonna go from scratch. I'm gonna install, run, and react, and let's see if we can figure out how to use this. I guess it's a shell. It's a replacement for the desktop environment. It's an alternative. I don't know what it is exactly, because as far as I understand, it doesn't replace. It just supplements. So let's see how well it does that. So we're gonna install here. Let's go through the installer. Type my name. That's right. So, I think if anyone recalls in my last video, okay, I'm not sure if that's a glitch. I have different drives for different purposes, so I'm going to install on my D drive, which is where I'll install programs that are independent of the operating system. So, this may be a mistake, I don't know. It may be very integrated into the operating system, it may not. I don't know, so we're going to find out. Let's install it to my D drive and create a new program group, of course, so that we have easy access to Bob. Oh, do we want it to automatically start with Windows? I mean, it's not loved for a reason. So let's assume everyone's right for now and be pleasantly surprised later. Incomplete international settings. Okay, homework. Register today. I will get on that. Alright, so this is a pretty straightforward installer. You just tell it where, and it looks like the majority of the files are going into the Windows folder anyway. So now it appears that this is pretty integral to the operating system. So, like so many times before, made a choice. It was the wrong choice. Now we're here. What to do? We'll see how this plays out. Alright, wrapping up. So it's updating your system. Alright. So it needs to restart your computer to complete the installation. Please remove the properties. Go for it. Make me proud. Okay, so setup was pretty easy. Let's see what happens. Now, since the last video, have installed After Dark Simpsons Edition. We're on a timer of 15 minutes. I don't think that will come into play during this video, but if we have any issues with it, that's why. Let's see what happens. Whoa. Why don't all programs start like this? This is pretty cool. What am I looking at here? Testing the optimal display performance that will look its best on your system. Just take a few minutes. You'll only see it again if you change. This must have gone GOTY, because I mean, you don't usually benchmark before running Notepad, so it must be intense. Something coming. What is it doing though? I wonder. If anyone knows, I'd love some detail. Whoa. Okay. Looks like I'm home. Good evening. It is 5:23 where I am right now, so yeah, that seems appropriate. So I must have had some awareness of. I guess that wouldn't be that big a deal back then too. So okay. Click the door. That's cool. Guest. Click here if your name isn't in the list. Now, I wonder, does it always give me this option if just anyone shows up? I'm assuming at the time Windows didn't have a concept of users, because I haven't seen anything like. I mean, I registered my name with Windows, but I never told it, okay, and then here's my wife and here's my sister or whatever. No, so I'm wondering if there's this like a primitive user system, or if it's just like you'll always have access to everything, but you can organize it however you like. Let's see. Are you new to the home? Rover Retriever. It's the guy from MS Office. I know that much. Well, I guess he's from here. Alright, so first name. I guess I'm supposed to give it my full name because then it asked me I prefer to be called. But, okay, so. I have to give all this info. Wow, okay. Hometown. Now you all know. Oh, it has passwords, okay. So, but I'm assuming, again, like, it may protect my account. That may not mean that it protects access to the computer. So let's explore that a little later. I'll just type a password for now. We'll probably change it later. There is no security in place. I can skip it. Cool. Some privacy. Because with shared rooms, you can have your own private room. What type of room would I like? Interesting. Alright. Let's go to study. Yes, sir. Let's see what it comes up with. Okay, let's take the tour. Scrumptious things to see here in the home. So let's get started. I've never walked into my home and thought, this looks scrumptious. But I'll go with it. So there's no manual, just a guide. Okay. Getting cocky. Let's see if it owns up. Let's see. Okay. My DOS and Windows programs. Bob has been designed to manage all your programs, whether they're for Bob, Microsoft Windows, or DOS. Oh, that's right. Bob had its own software built just for Bob. I'm told the catalog is very short, but apparently that was a thing, or it was planned to be a thing. And yeah, Windows would have its own software, and Bob would have its own software, and then of course Bob would support Windows software. But if you had a Bob-only software, it wouldn't work without Bob, so giving really rise to that whole expansion pack, I guess, mentality. So. Okay, if I don't like the way the room looks, I mean, is this fully deconstructible? What are we doing with 4 styles of architecture, dozens of different plants, pieces of furniture, and decorations to choose from? I'll help you redecorate whenever you want. Cool. It's a personal assistant, home decorator. Easy to use, powerful programs for your essential tasks: writing letters, organizing your calendar, tracking your finances, managing your household, sending and receiving email. But I mean, so Office Suite software existed, but I'm assuming it was aimed probably more at professionals at the time. I'm not entirely sure. I was quite small when this came out. but it looks like they included a lot of the home-focused, functionality into Bob. I guess they just assumed, that those would always be separate lines, and maybe that was the intention. I remember a lot of software back then did come like, this is the Home Edition, this is the, they had Windows and then Windows for Workgroup, so they had different versions of things for what they felt were different tracks. Well, when those things later merged, I'm sure it had its reasons, but it's interesting that they would include all these features in here. But if I recall, Bob was not cheap either. They, again, thought this was really going to take off, as far as I remember. So, let's keep going. Let's take a look at that and see how in-depth that goes. Now, we don't have internet access, so they mentioned emails. We won't be able to test that. There's calendar, okay. So we can, it's another Outlook feature. Checkbook. They have finance applications built in. Oops. Sorry. Dog needs his medicine. Alright, so they have financial support, financial guide as well. Customizable checklist for planning personal financial goals and keeping important records. Okay, that's kind of cool. I could see this all. I mean, there probably wasn't an abundance of this software back then. I'm assuming there was shell replacements. That's not a new idea. I mean, we saw them as we see them up until Windows 8. Even I remember they were pretty popular because people hated the shell that Microsoft came out with. But I'm assuming at that time, there wasn't easy access to the internet, or there may have been easy, but it wasn't, far and wide. So to have something officially released was probably a big deal, or they again thought it would be, But maybe people just felt it wasn't needed. Maybe there was alternatives like alternate companies like Netscape writing their own software that people felt, oh, you don't need to add on all this fluff. Or maybe this feels too childish. Maybe that was the problem. I mean, the artistry is not the best, but I don't know for the time. Maybe that was. There's a lot going on. Maybe this was heavy, intensive for the time. Who knows? All right, household manager. Expert how-to information for Dale Rhonda Berg, a contributor to Women's Day magazine. It's also the place where I'll help you keep. So I'm betting they dated this here. Let's see here. Interesting email. I'm gonna skip that because you can't. You can get your own Bob email account. So it predates MSN maybe. Address book, okay. Geosafari. Thunderous, Pacadero, Hank will challenge your wit and knowledge in this action-packed game of the mind. Oh, this is like a quiz, like a quiz game. Okay. So if you fill in the address book with a yeah, so it's like a PIM software integrated into the shell. Okay. Really great sounds. They get better. You can hear, increase the volume, other options. Okay. So they have more than one assistant, so I can change. It's like Microsoft Office. Okay. I wonder, did this give way to the changes we saw in Office? Office existed. They had Office, or they at least had Word and other Office tools at the time, but they didn't have, these kinds of features we maybe saw in Word 97, if I'm not mistaken. So maybe this was the rise to that, and or they just wanted to reuse it so the code didn't go to waste. Let's see. End of the tour. Alright, start program, just click on it. Other options. Oh, okay, so he is our guide to everything. So if we need to see him ramble. Orby is such a dear. He loves when the forecast calls for mostly sun. He hates earthquakes and apologizes for any damage he has ever caused with tornadoes. I'm assuming that's another assistant. wonder if it found my program. Let's see. So it's all the Bob tool. Bob address book. Bob balloon. What's Bob balloon? Let's find it. There's a balloon. Okay. Yeah. Okay. What did I just see? I don't understand what that was. So I can put balloons. What happens if I never click it? Is there a way to put a shortcut to it? Oh, okay, so there's only one. And it's a program, but probably Bob specific, so if I click it, it pops. So if I never click it, it just sits there. So, okay, interesting. Let's go to another room. What was there? So I click on a door. Okay, so there's a door here. I can double click the door to go fast, or I can just click it to go slow. To find the doors, hold down the F1 key. Does it tell me what they are? Oh, there we go. Okay, door to Bob calendar. That's a door. This is a door right here. Bob calendar. Okay. Door to public study. So this must be my private study. Public mouse hole. Go to public mouse hole. I would love to go to the public mouse hole. And in here, what we just have, again, the same Geo Safari. I'm assuming this is the clock. Yeah, there's my balloon. I can leave. So if I click on the hole, nothing happens. I have to click on the actual door. Okay. You can see users getting confused trying to figure out all these unlabeled elements. Maybe that also played a part in people being a little slow to adopt it. Now, I mean, how flexible is it? I should just click and drag. So can I just have it floating here on the ceiling? Yeah, I can. Okay. I mean, you can't complain about that, I suppose. What's this one? Financial guide. So, okay, but it is nice if you click it, it at least tells you like what it is before launching it. I guess that's a little bit of a bonus. To start a program, just click on it. I did. Start the program. Okay. Oops. Put this household manager. Dope. And I mean, that's that. I can change the fire screen. Okay. I can't launch any Bob programs. This is Bob email. Sometimes he'll start programs without complaining. And okay, checkbook launches. Cool. So now I can write a check from Bob. Oh, okay, so they switch assistants. I have to click this button first. I have to acknowledge this little guy's existence. Okay, tip, learning more. That's not a tip, but okay. Let's turn you off. No, I don't. I'm gonna skip the tour.
Are you sure about that?
Very.
Are you sure about that? Are you sure about that?
Oh wow, okay, so they ask 100 questions. Are you sure? Are you sure you're sure? And if you're sure, it just quits. If you're not sure, you start all over again. Well, if I have no accounts, let's see what it is. Do you have a credit card? And let's just say no to everything and see what he does. Do you want to keep track of your cash?
Are you sure about that? Are you sure about that?
Okay, I can kind of see some frustrating elements of using this interface here. I mean, they got the UI here, but the assistant is so integral that you have to, and you can't just go into like a settings page and just configure it all at one bulk thing. You have to click through the interface. So let's say you're a power user, this would probably be very frustrating. I don't know why a power user would be using the Bob shell. I'm assuming it was not the intended target audience, but this is getting frustrating. You know, thinking about like having to do this every day or run into these things every time I install a new program. So I could see this getting frustrating, but let's just let him manage my cash. You know, I'll use a checkbook to manage my cash. That makes sense. How much cash do you have in your wallet? Well, how much will you let me put? Alright, that's all that'll fit. Alright, well, it's good to have standards. Why did it let me type it? Let's see if it... See if that works. Oh, I have to click this first. Okay. Alright. That's good enough. Yes, add some cash. Where is he going? Child support, yeah. Next one is expected. Sure. How often? What do they let me do? Daily. Into my cash account. Who's the payee? She owes me money.
Are you sure about that? Are you sure about that?
Well, okay, it's at least flexible. I have it so that I get money when my child support is due as a bill. So the bill comes in and I get paid $99,000, and it let me do it. It called it out, which was kind of cool, but it still let me do it anyway, which was also kind of cool. You know, at least if you're going to do it wrong, it does its due diligence. And let's see, remind me of this bill 7 days in advance, but it's due daily. So what does that look like exactly? Alright, let's leave it at that. Let's just have it. Do you want to add these transactions to Bob counter? Why not? Let's add them all. All the calendars. To name your records instead of password.
Okay.
I mean, okay, so I have password for this separately. I don't want to set an extra password. So it's a nonsense account. Alright, I'm ready to go. Okay, pay online. They had these systems early back then. A lot of steps, and I still can't just directly interact. Oh, okay, yeah. Oh, I spoke too soon. I can receive cash from baby mama for my child support that she owes me. What I say was $99,999. I understand how categories work. I don't think I need to learn more. Alright, so
Is your mother
how do I enter? Oh, okay.
Are you sure about
Enter
that?
an income category for an expense. Do you want to change it? No, just pay me. I just received. So, okay, that worked. Interesting. Alright, I mean, this is fun to play with, but it still feels like if I was teaching my kid how to do stuff, the UI just, I don't know, it just doesn't feel. I don't know what they were going for, but it doesn't feel like something I would probably want to use every day. If I was, I get it, it's not professional, it's for home use. This is desktop for your home. Bob is clearly meant for families in the home, but it's still just it doesn't feel serious to me, and that's me. I don't know what other issues people have. That's the issue I'm having right now with this. Again, I think for the time this probably would have looked pretty cool though. Now that looking back, so I just saved and it wants to back up. So let's why not? I mean, you never have to back up. Oh, okay, it wants to go to floppy. We're not gonna do that.
Okay, great.
And you'll always be in the black because he's a ledger. Okay, so everything's money to this guy. Fair enough. Okay, so that was kind of interesting. So I'm assuming that probably added. Oh, cool. Okay. Let's try one more time. What's the definition of insanity again? Of course. But I'm betting it probably did add baby mama to my address book, if my address book ever chooses to launch. What are we seeing here? So this is the public study. Household manager. Alright, well this... Oh. Okay, set an alarm, set date, set time. Oh, okay, so I can adjust the date and time, or I can set an alarm. So if I set an alarm for... Oh, okay, so it's to a time. I have to set it to an explicit time. Well, it's 5:46, so if I set it to 5:40... 46... 5:48, just to be safe. Let's see what happens. Alright, so it looks like the alarm... Oops, there we go. It looks like the alarm goes off just like this. And yeah, it won't let you click out. So you have to acknowledge it, which is, in this case, I think kind of a good thing. You have to at least respond somehow. So I can leave it on till tomorrow, so I can have it repeat. I didn't see an option to have this set up as a repeating alarm start, so I have to, every day that I want to repeat it, I always have to say, like, let it repeat on to tomorrow. But again, I don't, these features were probably, at the time they probably weren't as common, so the fact that it even has this is kind of probably good. It's probably a precursor to what we now consider to be expected. So let's just turn it off. So I'm in the public study here. I have this view of, it looks kind of like Lake Washington, I guess. There's a little lighthouse here. I don't know where this would be on Lake Washington, so never mind. Let's see if we click here. Go to another door to another room. Oh, okay, so then you go to... I can either use this door to go just to the room it's designated as, or I can use it to go to any other room, or I can reassign the door. So I can change the layout of my house figuratively. Okay. I have my contemporary study, which is my private room, and then there's the public safe. That makes sense to have the safe be public. Okay, not sure what to make of that. Let's go there. what's in my public safe, the safe that everyone has access to. This is where I, of course, kept my lava lamp. And as we all do in our safe, we keep our checkbook and some cash. This is the financial guide, and this is the checkbook. So they're two different programs. That does nothing. Okay. So, and then to leave the safe, you have to... Oh, no, it's this button, I'm assuming. Okay, cancel that. I'm assuming this is the way out of the safe. Yeah. To another room. I mean, what's left? Public study. It's probably my study, but just the one that everyone has access to. Yeah. So I'm assuming, like, in this room, if I, move this over here, but then if I go to, my private room, that'll probably be back down here. Yeah. So that's really different. But now if I go back, was the other one, because it's a public room, so public. No, it was the public study. Oops. Okay. So try that again. Let's see here. Okay, so the transitions take a little time. There might have been loading time, or just been killing time while it loads. Let's see. Yeah, so this is still out yonder. And okay, so there's a hierarchy too, I guess, of which things are in front of which. I wonder, is it... No, it's just one is always in front of the other, I guess. And if it doesn't, I guess if it doesn't serve a purpose, it's always... Oh, there's my safe. So everything that can be interacted with. I'm assuming the doors don't move though, right? Oh, wow. Okay, so I can put a door here on the window, I guess. I can put a door anywhere and just... That's what works. So there's just this gaping hole in the wall. Okay. I mean, it's definitely modular. Now, if I want to put it back, does it snap or... No. So I can break the door and be one of those people. I can have it just ajar. Interesting. Okay. Let's see how it works running other programs. I know it's supposed to support my DOS and Windows programs. So it's... There's also a browse on your own feature. Interesting. Okay. Minesweeper, Bob. Interesting. So let's browse on our own too. Let's just see here. Browse file system. Huh. Okay, so it just has this. How does it handle? I just put the name in the description, so I'll have to. And there it is. It's a box that I can just set on my shelf. It has shadows. It has a shadow, so if I set the box on the window pane, it's got a shadow. Set it on the table, it has an appropriate shadow. Let's see. Well, that didn't work. Interesting. What is advanced feature? No. All right. Let's see what happens if I just. Just try Minesweeper. It's Windows program. Sorry. Alright, so here's my Minesweeper. Minesweeper has a proper icon in Windows 3.1, but it didn't keep that here. Let's see. It changes the look. Okay, so I guess since it's not a part of Bob, and it's not pulling the icon for some reason. So if I want to know what these two things side by side are, I have to click them. Okay, but the good news is this at least launches on top of Bob. Oh, okay. Now where to go? Just alt tab work. That works. Interesting. But what happens if I didn't? Let's say I didn't know. What happens if I start another one? Oh. Alright, my mouse is very sensitive. So let's see. Let's try again. Did it launch 2? It looks like there's only one running. Okay. Not bad. But I mean, this shell is now running on top of Bob. I can now... I have full access to this, so it's just an overlay at that point. Interesting. Okay, pop that balloon. And let's call that a day, because this is... I think we've reached the limits of what's going to work on this machine. Okay, so we sign out. What does it do, though? Does it go to Windows, or does it go to the front door? It goes to the front door. So we're not done yet. We're not out of the woods. I have to knock on the door to see this last thing. I said we'd revisit this. Interesting. So are you new to the home? No, I was removed. So sure, let's see. Does it let me just create an account? It keeps a log of people who have been removed for the last 6 months. So after that, good luck. You know, all those iconless programs you're gonna have to figure out on your own. But I have a password on my account. Now let's see if I'm new to the home. It just lets me in. Interesting. Okay, and then I can remove someone. Can I just directly remove myself? So if like someone gets on my computer, they can just straight up delete my account at the login screen. So there is no... I had a password. It asked me to set a password. I set a password, and then a stranger shows up and like, you know what, screw this guy. Deletes my account, and there's no like, okay, well, are you, or, you know, are you the admin? Like, what gives you the authority? Nope, don't delete it. So awesome, cool. And I can't exit until I cancel this. Oh wait, I wonder, can I? So there's a guest account. Can I also remove the guest? Let's see. There's nobody. So, but I have full authority to just invite myself into this house. It's probably the worst part of the metaphor, or the part of the metaphor that's not explored very well. But I mean, again, this was early on. I don't think Windows had user support at the time, so my guess is that this was kind of that introductory to it, where it wasn't like, okay, we're keeping, you know, corporate secrets. This is just home. You know, if someone's in your home, they're on your computer, you've probably let them on your computer, and, you know, oh, it's okay if, you know, everyone sees the files, because, you know, why would you be doing something so secretive in your home on a computer back then, I guess. You know, now it's like, you know, everybody, not only does everyone have their own account, but they have their own account on their own computer, you know, so probably just different era and different expectations for security. So let's exit out of here, because I don't really see myself ever launching this again, ever. So yeah, I would say the criticisms of Bob, yeah, okay, I can see where they come from. I can definitely understand why people were not fond of this. I'm told the price tag was quite hefty. I'll have to look up how much it retailed for. Maybe I can find an old ad and I'll put it in the description. So, you know, we can explore what mindset people were in when they were valuing how much they just spent and what they got out of that money. So that'd be interesting to take a look at too. But yeah, hopefully this was enjoyable for you. I definitely learned some things today. Definitely took me back to the days where you just get random hexadecimal error codes as you're running through a program. But, you know, this was in the same era where you could get a blue screen and just say, not today, just hit escape and you'd be back in Windows no problem without having to reboot. So, you know, error codes were definitely more prominent. It wasn't the end of the world. It just, you know, could have meant try again. It might have meant, hey, you just need to call, give them the code, and they'll be like, oh, yeah, just kick it this way and you'll be fine. You know, I remember when I was in school, we had an issue with one of the Macs, because my school bought a ton of Macs, and they were paying this technician to come in and figure out why our Mac is making this weird sound in one of the labs. He just walks up to the machine and just whack, and he walks out like, you know, oh yeah, we're paying him thousands of dollars an hour for him to just come in and do what when any student could have probably figured out. So, you know, there's a lot of jokes around how Apple used to be and how Macs used to be, and that's probably the essence of them all in that one story. So anyway, if you enjoyed this, like, subscribe, whatever, drop comments. If you have suggestions, questions, comments, hit me up. All right.